Pandu married Kunti, and he also took another wife, Madri, the princess of Madra, and Kunti, the daughter of Kunti Bhoja, or adopted daughter of Kunti Bhoja, who grew up as Pritha and later on became Kunti, who is Krishna's aunt. She married Pandu. Pandu went hunting and he was a young man with two young wives, with lot of conquest behind him, but no children. No children is a big problem. For a king, no children is a big problem because if he doesn't have children, so many things are questioned. Above all, the future is a big question for the kingdom. Who is going to be the king? The moment they see there is no strong prince growing up, just about everybody will become ambitious. This is the political problem. So there is a worry, no children. He was hunting and he saw deer in a state of lovemaking. Unconcerned, he thought it's a good shot and he shot. He was such a good archer that he shot both of them with a single arrow. He wanted to do that. When he did this stag, which happened to be a sage who had taken on this form, as they were dying, he said, there is a law among hunters that a pregnant animal, a love-making animal, you don't kill because future generation is in the making, you don't kill them. That is the law of the hunter. You broke that law. For having done this, let it be so. If you ever go to your wife with any kind of desire, if you touch her, you will have a violent death. But no children yet. And now he has two wives and he cannot go to them. Once again, the same problem, Kuru clan doesn't have a progeny. So Pandu got so frustrated with his situation. Once again, previous generation the same situation, once again the same bottleneck. Out of his frustration, he gave up all the power and authority that he had there and he chose to go and live in a forest along with his wives. He just engaged himself with the sages around and kept himself busy trying to forget that he is a king. But the deep frustration kept growing within him. One day, when his frustration reached its peak, he told Kunti, "What shall I do? I want to kill myself. Because if one of you do not bear children, the Kuru clan is lost. Because Dhritarashtra also does not have a child. And his children need not be the kings because he is blind, he is not yet the king, he is just waiting king." At that point, when he expressed his frustration to a point where he wants to commit suicide, Kunti revealed something about herself. She said, "There is a possibility." He asked, "What?" She said, "When I was a young girl, when Durvasa, the sage, came to my father, I played the hostess. He was so pleased with me that he gave me a mantra. He said, if I use this mantra, anytime I can call for any of the gods that I wish. If I think of a god and use this mantra, he will come and be my lover and I can bear his child. So if you really wish, I will do this for you." Pandu was more than eager. He said, "Please do it. Whom shall we call?" She had already called somebody, which she did not tell. That was in the past. she did not tell. She said, I have the mantra, I can call. So Pandu said, whom shall we call? They thought, and Pandu said, we must call Dharma. If we have a king for the Kuru clan, we must have Dharma's son. Dharma is also known as Yama, who is the lord of death and justice. So he said, let us call Dharma. So Kunti withdrew into the forest and called for Dharma. Dharma came and she bore a child, and this child was named as Yudhishthira, the first of Pandu's sons. A year passed by, Pandu became greedy. He said, let us have one more child. Kunti said, no, we have a son, the Kuru clan has a progeny, this is more than enough. He said, no, we must have one more child. He begged and pleaded, what will they think of me? That I have only one son, after that what has happened to me? Please have one more. So whom do you want? So he said, let us call Vayu, let our son be really strong. We have dharma, but we need strength. So let us call Vayu, the god of the winds. So she withdrew and she called for Vayu, and Vayu came. Because he was such a fierce presence, they could not stay there, so he took Kunti and went away. There's a beautiful description here in the verse of Mahabharata where Vayu takes Kunti and goes away. Initially he crosses the mountains, then the oceans. Detailed description, it's very uncanny. The oceans, and then flies away into Ksheera-sagara. Ksheera-sagara means an ocean of milk. Does it resonate something within you? A Milky Way. He flew into the ocean of milk, beyond the ocean, beyond oceans and everything. And then he took her around and he showed her how the earth, which everybody thinks is flat, is actually round. He tells her that when it is day here, where we are in Bharatvarsh, in another city opposite to this, it is night. When it is night here, it is day there. And he says, in that country, in that land, also great sages and seers and warriors exist. Directly opposite to India, if you dig a tunnel, you will end up somewhere in Mexico. So he's talking 5,000 years ago that there is another kingdom on the other side and clearly saying the earth is round. Galileo was not born. That he's clearly saying the earth is round, and on the other side of Bharatvarsh, there's another great civilization where this is the kind of people who live there, their skills and their capabilities, he's talking about it. And then she bears another child, the son of Vayu, Bhima, born as a strong man, grows up to be described as the strongest man in the world. After some time, Pandu gets greedy. He says, I know this is greed, but after seeing these two beautiful sons, how can I resist this? I want one more son, just one more. Kunti says, no, no, and time passes by, but Pandu won't leave her. Then she asks, okay, who? He says, let's get Indira, the king of all gods, nobody less than that. So she invites Indira and she bears another child by him. He is the Arjuna, the greatest archer and the greatest warrior. He is known as the Kshatriya, that means the warrior. Mahabharata refers to him as the warrior. There has never been another warrior like him and there never will be. So he is a war machine. He finds his fulfillment only in a battle. So, he was born, Arjuna. The three very divine children started growing up, displaying phenomenal skill and capabilities and intelligence. All the focus was upon these three children and the mother who bore them, and of course there's another young wife who neither have any kind of husband in reality nor children, so she's just a woman hanging around. So naturally things grew in her, slowly sweetness became venom and it started spilling out. So one day, Pandu noticed that Madri is no more the sweet bride that he had. Her face looked venomous. So Pandu asked, "What is the matter? Aren't you happy?" She said, "What is there for me to be happy in this place? You and your three sons and your wife, that is all the world is. What is there for me to be happy?" After initial argument and fight, she said, "If you can ask Kunti to teach me the mantra, I will also bear children, then you will pay attention to me also. I will also be important. Otherwise I'm just a hang-on right now." Then Pandu understood her plight. He went to Kunti and said, "See, Madri needs a child." Kunti said, "Why, my children are her children too?" She said, "No, no, no, that's not it. She wants children of her own." You know what that means? Her own. So can you teach the mantra? So Kunti said, "I cannot teach her the mantra, but if it is necessary, I will use the mantra, she can call for any god that she wants." So she took Madri into the forest, into a cave, and she said, "Think of the god that you want, I will use the mantra." She used the mantra. This young woman was confused, whom shall I call, whom shall I call, whom shall I call? This, many things flying around. And when she used the mantra, she thought of two Ashwins. Ashwins are not gods, they are like demigods. But they are generally referred to as Ashwa means a horse. It's got something to do with the horses, something to do with that clan who are experts in dealing with horses and managing horses. So she had twins of these Ashwins and they were called Nakula and Sahadeva. So Kunti had three children, Yudhishthira, Bhima and Arjuna. Madri had two children, Nakula, Sahadeva. But then Pandu wanted more children. For a king, more sons he has, better it is, because battles will happen. When battles happen, the number of sons do not increase, they decrease. So it's best to have maximum number of sons if you want to conquer, if you want to rule the land. Kunti said, "This is it." Then Pandu pleaded, "Okay, if you are not willing, use the mantra on Madri." She said, "Nothing doing." Because whichever queen has the maximum number of sons will become the main queen. So she was not willing to give the arithmetic advantage that she had right now. She had three, Madri had two. She didn't want to give away that advantage. She said, "Nothing doing. We are not using the mantra anymore." So these 5 boys grew up as Pancha Pandavas, the 5 Pandavas. The sons of Pandu were referred to as Pandavas. They are king's children or royal clan, but born and grew up in the forest till they were 15 years of age.